Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our 9 month around the world adventure. And today we're on the island of Corsica, where we learn about the boyhood home of Napoleon and see the beautiful sights.
Welcome to Living Phase 2.
Hi, I'm Mike,
And I'm Nancy, and we're empty nesters striving to live life to the
and
fullest.
we're living that full life going around the world on Royal Caribbean's 9 month ultimate world cruise on Serenade of the Seas.
We are friends. Well, today we are in the little island here at Corsica, France. It's between Italy and France, and we're going to learn about Napoleon.
Yeah, everything is
It's
about
about
Napoleon
Napoleon
on
here.
this island. But there's more to it than just that, too, and we're going to show you what we did. Well, what did we do first?
Well, the first thing we did when we got off the ship is we walked into the town square and took kind of an overview of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw what they had called the little Petit Train, a small city train.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have two different tours that this train will take. One is a city tour, and the other is an overview of the island. And so we took the island tour. It was an hour and 40 minutes. The train ride was only 12 euros. So this is a deal.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, so a little tip here. You can make reservations for the train in advance on the online. We were fortunate that we kind of were some of the first people off the ship. We went in and we caught one of the very first tours of the day. So they did have openings on the train. But then after that, when we got back in, there were people lined up that had reservations, and the trains were pretty well full at that point. So if you do want to take the little train, which is a nice thing to do here, make your reservations, get your tickets online before you get to Corsica.
Agreed. Well, the first place the train took us to was a monument of Napoleon.
Yeah, surprise.
It was almost like a little hop on, hop off train, really, because we were able to get off the train, go and take some pictures, and then get back on. He gave us about 10-15 minutes at this stop. But then the second stop, we started going through the island, and we got to see some beautiful beaches. He took us to an overlook. Again, we were able to get off the train at this point and take some more photographs
Yeah,
and
yeah.
beautiful scenery.
There was a lighthouse. You could see over the coastline. There was actually fishermen out there with their nets pulling them in. Yeah, that was a nice stop too.
Really
I
was.
like that the longer tour took you out to see more in Corsica than just into the town. Another thing I liked about the coastline and where we were at when we were outside of town, it did show us one of the things that's very popular to do here in Corsica, and that's hiking.
Yes.
Nice hiking trails. You could actually see some of the hiking trails in the hills. I hesitate to say mountains, but it's pretty mountainous around that area. So if you like hiking, Corsica is also really good for that. So, well, we wrapped up there at the
We
beach
did.
overlook.
I also want to say too, then as we came back on the train would give announcements or explanations in both French and English. So that was nice that we were able to understand everything that we were seeing.
Yeah. Well, the train took us back into town, dropped us off, and yeah, at that point we were scheduled to take to have an adventure that was called the Napoleon Grotto Experience. Some friends actually booked this for us. There was four of us together, and it's a dinner Napoleon. We're actually not quite
Lunch,
sure
yes.
what it is at this point, but it got good reviews. We thought, okay, let's give it a try. But our reservation wasn't until noon, and so we had some time to spend in the town. We walked the streets, looked at some of the different shops, the different bars, restaurants, and
I
things.
got my Christmas ornament,
You did.
a little Napoleon.
Yeah, of course, everything. No, one thing we haven't really mentioned too much is we did briefly mention in the beginning, but this is the boyhood home of Napoleon, and so Napoleon is a bit of obviously a controversial figure. To some people, he's seen as a hero. To others people, he's seen as an evil conqueror. It depends on which side. I think probably most of Europe sits on the other side of it, but in France and especially in Corsica, he's seen more of as a heroic figure. And that's why everything here is about Napoleon. You actually can tour his boyhood home. That's a museum. And some of our friends did that. They said it actually was quite educational, very good. They enjoyed it a lot. But it was about time now for our Napoleon Grotto experience. And so I found this amazing. I enjoyed this a
It
lot.
really was. So it's a little restaurant that they've made to look like a grotto, and it doesn't hold very many people, maybe 30 or
If
so
that, yeah.
people. And you're sitting down at a table where you're going to have lunch, but they give you headphones to wear. And all around this grotto, they have large screens, like almost like picture frames, but they're screens where we're going to watch the movie all about Napoleon. So our headphones were able to play it in English for us, so we were able to understand it. And while we're watching the movie, they bring out this lovely charcuterie board for us to have lunch.
Yeah, everybody got a charcuterie for their lunch, and they brought
Delicious.
wine. They brought other drinks out. It was also very well done. Maybe we should explain. There's a legend here in Corsica that Napoleon used to play in a grotto when he was a child out on the shoreline. And so there's this mysterious or this legendary place called Napoleon's Grotto that it may or may not really exist. Some people point to certain areas and say that was the grotto. That's why this restaurant, virtual reality, multimedia experience, whatever you want to call it, is called Napoleon's Grotto. And it's why they did the event center, the little, I guess it's a restaurant, is done up with stone walls and all this to look like you're in a grotto. That's why it's themed this way. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought
I
the
did
story
too.
was good. The filming was good. The food was excellent. I really would highly recommend, if you have some interest in seeing the history of Napoleon, kind of
Learning about him.
especially as a child, where did he come from? Why did he become who he did?
Right.
This, I think, did a good job, a balanced explanation, not making him into a big hero, but just a biography, just telling who
Right.
he was. I thought it was really good.
And then the movie probably ran, what, about 45 minutes? I would
I think
say?
the whole experience was about an hour and a half by the time we were all finished in there, and there was different parts, and they actually it was broken into 3 different segments. In between, they would come out like dressed in period costume and service like the next piece, like the dessert or whatever. No, I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, following our grotto experience, we really just kind of wandered around town, kind of worked our way back to the ship, and called it a day at that point. We had a beautiful sunset
Yeah,
as
we
we
did.
left. But Mike, we're on our way now to the area of Cannes, Nice, and Monaco.
That's right. So we're going to kind of combine those couple stops here, Cannes and Nice, and a trip to Monaco in the video tomorrow. So it's a lot of fun, especially you made it to the casino in Monaco, and let's see if she made it rich in the casino.
Oh, I'd love to say I did.
Well, Nancy, Corsica, would you come back here to the island of Corsica?
I probably wouldn't go out of my way to come back here unless the cruise ship was stopping here. And if it was, I'd probably just make it a beach day, really.
Right, right. And as we said, that's kind of the top 3 things. One is learn about Napoleon.
Yes,
Everything's about
which we
Napoleon here.
did.
Yep. And the other things are hiking or a beach day. And, again, I'd probably do the beach day. Yep.
All right, friends, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you being here. If you haven't hit the like button, we would love it if you would. And we will see you again very soon. Have a great day. Take care.
Bye-bye
Bye-bye.
now.